Chapter 46 begins with Suho looking at his new clone. Suho wonders, what does this system want him to do since he was being forced to face himself so many times? But deciding not to think too much about it, he prepares to face the current version that was approaching him. Looking at his appearance, he recalls that the previous two versions that he faced were from his past, but this one was his current version, and he notices two weapons in his hands. He recognizes one as the Raken's Fang, and as he checks the second weapon, he gets surprised to see that it was a sword version of his Vulcan's horn. Seeing this, he wonders how that was even possible since Vulcan's horns were supposed to be gauntlets, not a sword, and wonders if this was caused by a glitch in the system. So he decides to check his stats before facing him and gets surprised to see what was in front of him. And out of nowhere, he started smirking. Wasting no time, he started rushing towards his twin and manages to deliver a kick, but the clone easily blocks it using his blades. But Suho wasn't concerned about that since finally, after so many deaths, he had found a worthy opponent that he was confident he could defeat and manages to push him back. Seeing how easy it was, Suho started thinking that his stats were far superior compared to this clone, especially his strength, which was overwhelmingly superior compared to his. As he was still in his thoughts, he notices something about the clone, but before he could realize what was going on, the clone started to activate a bunch of skills. Suho was shocked to see how many abilities that clone possessed since he was even using the reinforcement technique that was the ability that a mutt uses. The clone even used Wind of the Grassland and Giant's Armor. Seeing the amount of buffs that the creature had activated, Suho gets concerned since now it was going to be much more difficult to face him. As he was still thinking, the clone leaps towards Suho and starts delivering a flurry of attacks on him. But somehow, Suho manages to dodge all of them. Seeing that he wasn't able to land a single hit on him, the clone activated the skill Storm Slash to end the fight. Seeing that things were getting out of hand, Suho summons his own dagger to use Storm Slash himself to try and block his attack, since if he got hit by it directly, he would lose the fight. With that, both of them started to exchange blows, and the sheer force behind their blades clashing sent shockwaves all around the boss room. Meanwhile, Suho was thinking that he got lucky since he kept the dagger, but he notices that he was slowly getting overpowered since the clone was much faster compared to him as he had been using skills to boost his stats. All of a sudden, Suho feels a sharp pain on his face, and as soon as that happens, a fragment of a memory appears in front of his eyes as he sees himself taking out Brokey. But there was something strange about that memory since Suho didn't recall that memory to be his, since his fight with Brokey was completely different, as he remembered merging with Gray to take him out. But ignoring that for now, he decided to focus on the more important matter right now since he was in the middle of a fight and couldn't afford to lose his focus. And all of a sudden, the clone manages to land another attack on Suho's arm. And as soon as that happens, Suho sees another flashback, but realizes that this memory wasn't his either since he never experienced anything like that, and realizes that the more he got hurt by this guy, the more he got hit with these mental attacks. Seeing this, he leaps back to create some distance between both of them so he could get his head straight. He notices that, for some reason, his clone wasn't approaching him anymore to attack. Just as he thought things were over, he hears something terrifying as his clone utters the word, "Rise." And in the next instance, Suho saw a massive shadow appearing from the clone and was coming straight towards him. Seeing this, Suho instantly got on his guard and starts to exchange blows with an insect-looking shadow soldier. And the creature proved too strong for him, so it manages to push Suho back. Checking the creature's details, he saw that this shadow soldier was named Quasi and was at the knight rank. All of a sudden, he notices that the creature had started smirking for some reason, so he turns towards his clone and sees that it was coming straight towards him to end the fight. Seeing this, Suho instantly got out of the way, but the clone manages to graze his stomach. Giving him no time to recover, both of them started to unleash relentless attacks on our hero while he tries to defend himself. Suho wonders if this clone of his had his shadow storage at level 32 because he summoned a shadow soldier out of nowhere, but decides to worry about that later since he was seeing a lot of strange visions while fighting this person and realizes that these memories that he is seeing are experiences of his from another world. That world belonged to the Suho that was before him. In that world, there was another Baru, an Essel, and Gray, and also a Mutt, like always. In that world, he solves problems smoothly among them and grows stronger from the quests that are given to him by the system. Back in the fight, Suho got so distracted by all these memories that the enemy managed to disarm him, leaving him completely vulnerable. Seeing the opportunity, Quasi prepares an attack to finish him off for good. But just as he was about to strike him down, something completely unexpected happens, leaving him disappointed as he saw Suho blocking his attack using his bare hand. Seeing that he wouldn't be able to use this hand in this fight anymore, Suho started wondering why the system was always giving him trials that were too hard for him to handle and made him push himself to his limits. Sensing his clone approaching him from behind, Suho recalls that not even a single trial that was given to him was easy. Same with this time, as ridiculously strong enemies appeared in front of him, because of which he had to experience death hundreds of times. By then, the clone had managed to close the distance between them, and just as he was about to strike Suho down, Quasi felt something strange happening to him. But before he could understand what was going on, the clone strikes his sword at Suho, but as he looks towards him, he saw that Suho had managed to block his blade using the gauntlets that he made from Quasi's body. Realizing that he was done for, the clone's eyes started to fill up with terror. Seeing his expression, Suho recalls what he had learned in all that death and despair, was that sitting down wouldn't make things any better for him. Thinking that, he immediately goes on the offensive and starts attacking the clone with everything he had. Seeing that he was slowly pushing him back, Suho realizes that this was never about whether the system had bugs or not. The real problem was how he used the system from the start, as he wasn't the one who should be controlled by the system. The system should be under his control. After dodging that attack, Suho started to transfer the shadow to another part of his body and manifests armor around his leg. Seeing that it worked, Suho decided not to follow the path the system decides for him anymore, as from now on, he will change his future by his own choices. With that, he strikes the clone, but at the last second, it manages to block the attack using his blades and gets pushed back, but he was completely dazed after taking that hit. Seizing the opportunity, Suho prepares to finish this fight with one last attack. Thinking that, he leaps toward the clone and manages to land a direct hit on his stomach, and the clone gets launched into a wall. But Suho wasn't done, so he creates a gauntlet on his arm and delivers a ground-shaking attack on the clone, and the whole area gets covered in a loud explosion. As the dust cleared, Suho was the only one standing in the middle of all that chaos. After which system notifications started appearing in front of him, congratulating him on completing the quest and receiving a title called The One Who Overcame Adversity that raised his strength in proportion to lost HP. After that, he turns towards the clone and sees that it was starting to disappear. Seeing this, Suho realizes that it was finally over. As he stands there, more notifications started appearing in front of him, informing him that the system was analyzing his record, after which it would assign him a suitable job. It tells Suho that he stood firm and fought against a vastly stronger opponent. He didn't suffer mental collapse despite hundreds of deaths, because of which he achieved mental growth beyond physical limits in an ungrowable situation. After analyzing everything, it tells Suho that he uses creativity to always find a positive solution in moments of crisis, and his unyielding spirit inspires those around him to reach the goal together, because of which he was given the opportunity to choose one of 3 jobs. After reading everything, Suho was surprised to see that this time, he was given an option to choose his own class. The system informs him that the first job was called Heir of the Shadows, and if he chooses this job, the system will continue to guide him to become the Heir of the Shadows. The second job was Soul Striker, and informs him that his past stats will not be restored if he chooses this class, and his shadow skills will also disappear. The third job had no name, and Suho reads that it was a job based on the player's traits that will change into a hidden class based on job quest achievements, and shadow skills will also disappear if he chooses this job. Seeing the orbs in front of him, Suho wonders what he should choose, since one path was the path that does not change anything. One path returns him to the past, and one path was of adventure. Seeing everything, Suho wasn't very pleased, since he had to suffer through hundreds of painful deaths, but after all that, he was given just one reward. So, not accepting that, he takes all the orbs in his hands, asking the system to give him everything. As soon as he says that, all the orbs started to merge together into one, after which all of them start to get absorbed into Suho's body, and the chapter ends. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Until next time, take care.